All right. We actually narrowly missed that one, but it's not that important. Let's go to the shooting range. Yeah, now we're gonna get a tutorial on zeroing. So this is really, really important now. Really pay good attention to this, because if you don't hunt in real life, zeroing basically adjusts not the scope, but it adjusts basically for the distance that you're shooting at. And if you don't zero correctly, you're going to overshoot or undershoot your target. You're going to be either too high or too low with your shots. So you really want to make sure that you zero your rifle correctly. So aim, you can use the scroll wheel to zoom. Now this scope is pretty lame, so we don't have much zoom. The first thing we're going to have to invest in will be a good scope. And we want to zero to 50 meters. So always make sure that it's matching. If you're not sure, because obviously the animals in the game don't have the meters written on them, you can enable Hunter Sense with Q, and then the shot analysis will tell you how far away the thing that you're shooting at is. And you can tell from the red dot, which if you hold shift, you will hold your breath, and that will make you more accurate. It will also tell you in the top right what your hit energy is. And that is important because you need a certain amount of hit energy for certain animals. The game thankfully gives you a shorthand in terms of tiers. So, for example, let me go to inventory. This is a tier 4 to 5 rifle, which means you should only use it for tier 4 to 5 animals. If you use it for an animal tier 6, you're not going to be able to kill it with this rifle unless you're really, really close. And you have really, really good placement.
Vitals hit. That would be a good shot.
Oh. 150, okay.
Everyone wants to keep his shooting skills sharp, but 200 meters? Way too far for a safe deer shot.
It's way too far for a scope like this. Like, this is ridiculous. Oh, that's an elk.
Looks like there's a note over there.
Now, as you can see, when we have Hunter Sense on and we hear an animal call, we will see this bubble, and we will also see an analysis in the top right that tells us what animal this is, what species, what sex it is, male or female, if it is calm, alerted, or spooked, and roughly how far away it is. And when it says 280 to 300 meters, it really means 280 to 300 meters. It might be 280 meters, it might be 299. You don't know. Let's put our gun away again.
Hey, Wallace, don't forget to take care of the badgers wreaking havoc behind the lodge. Sincerely, myself. You forgetful geezer.
Alright. We're not gonna fast travel. We are going to sprint. And we're gonna see if we can... We're gonna keep our nose on the ground to see if we can find some need zones along the way. Because right now, we start out without any perks. So that means we can only activate Hunter Sense while we're standing still. We need to find, I think, 30 need zones for the perk that actually lets us use Hunter Sense even when we are walking. Yeah, Walk and Sense. This is the most important perk you can get in the game. Definitely try to get this one as soon as possible, because that will enable Hunter Sense while you're walking, which is honestly such... It is so vital to gameplay for me that every time I start over on a fresh save and I realize that I don't have this perk, I sigh internally and I go, why did I do this to myself? So yeah, 30 unique animal signs, static or dynamic, which means they must be signs belonging to different animal groups, or at least a different need zone for a different group. So that's why I'm keeping my nose to the ground, so that if we run into a site, I can just press E and get it. Because right now we cannot see them while walking. We'll just have to take them as they come. And I could theoretically use Nakabo's map to just find a whole bunch of them, but I want to use that map only for a few very specific purposes. And I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about once we actually get there. Alright, let's go. I can already hear the badgers. I think there's always a fox eating zone somewhere over here and a bunch of badger eating zones, correct? Yeah. So I've got a badger sleeping zone here. Wow. Really? You little ankle biter, you decided to run into me? Wow. Pretty brave for somebody who's only like 20 centimeters tall. Alright. Now badges are tier 3, so you can fairly reasonably use Grandpa's gun for them.
So many burrows. That's unusual. Badgers are definitely overpopulated in this area.
Alright, let's find some badgers. So there's a need zone over there, we're just gonna mark that. You have 2 different kinds of markers, by the way. The one that you get when you simply press X, that's the red marker. You only have one of those. And the blue ones of which you can place multiples. So I recommend always use the blue one. It just makes your life a lot easier. We've got some badgers over there. 1-star adult. Now this is the only mission where I'm not going to care about what age it is. I just want to shoot something. So you know what? Let's take this guy. He's right there. Turn yourself around, please. I don't want to shoot you in the back. I want to shoot you in the lungs, ideally. Turn around, please. Turn sideways. Thank you. Ah, fuck, missed him. This is why you usually wait until they're stationary. So I did not get him. If I had, I would have actually seen the blood. Let's see. Can you calm down, please? And maybe stop moving. Oh, we stopped moving behind a bush. That's great. This is part of the problem with badgers. They are usually moving, so... There we go. Got him. Oh wait, am I already out of ammo? Yeah, I am. Okay. Now, the only reason why I did not mark the location where I shot him is because this time we actually have a mission marker. Usually you want to mark the location where you shot the animal. Okay, so this screen is really nifty. You will basically get a time lapse of where your bullet went. You can zoom in really close to see whether it hit any vital organs. So here, for example, you can see it hit just a tiny little edge of the veins coming out of the heart. It went through both lungs, which is really good. The light brownish damage, that is actual penetration damage. That means what did your bullet actually go through. And the orange damage that you see on is cavity damage. So that means what got damaged when the bullet expanded inside the animal. And yeah, in this case, it was more than enough. We managed to get everything right. Now we go to the most important window, in my opinion, the overview window. Oh, good call. So this window is really, really important if you're trying to manage your herds. So on the right side, you will see what you hit, what weather it was, what map you were on, what time, etc., which I don't find that important. But on the left, you will have all the genetic information for the animal, which is really important. So we can tell this was a male badger. He was an adult, because all animals come in 3 stages, young, adult, mature. And he was only 24.79% fitness. And what that means is every animal in this game spawns with a certain fitness. And once that fitness is set, it does not change throughout the animal's life, okay? This badger spawned with 24.79% and he's going to die with 24.79%, whether we shoot him or whether we let him live. The fitness is determined by or influenced, I should say, by the mean fitness of all males within the same habitat. So this badger's fitness was influenced by the mean fitness of all badgers within grasslands, which is why it is important that you unlock your map regions so you can see which parts of the map are actually grasslands, because that will tell you where you need to hunt. Now, what does change throughout age is the trophy rating and the trophy score. The trophy score is somewhere between 1 and 500, and it changes every year as the animal grows, depending on the genetic fitness. So a 24% badger is going to grow very slowly. A 95% badger is going to grow very quickly. And the stars that you have here are basically a shorthand for the trophy score compared to the age of the animal. So young animals are always 1 stars. Adult animals can be 1, 2, or 3 stars, depending on how fit they are and how old they are. And mature animals can be anything from 1 star to 5 stars. If you have a 5-star mature, that means that's a high fitness animal. It's probably the best you're going to get, unless it's really, really high fitness and he has more than 1 year as a 5-star mature, which is not possible for all species, and it's only possible with really high fitness. And if you have a 1-star mature, you know that animal has not gained a single star throughout adulthood. He's probably a dud. So with this one, 1-star adults are always a gamble, and with this one, we got lucky, 24.79%. We did the gene pool a favor. Good job. Now what you also see here is the hunt information, where you can see the meat loss. You can see how much did you actually lose by shot. You ideally want to kill with 1 shot with a gun of a proper caliber. So if you have a tier 1 animal, you ideally want to shoot it with a tier 1 gun, so you get little meat loss. If you try to shoot a tier 1 animal like a duck with a tier 6 gun, like the SM12 300 Win Mag, there's not going to be much left. You can basically pick up the feathers. And then you have the loss by time, which means if you leave the kill lying around for a couple of in-game hours, it's going to lose a lot of its meat. Now, every animal species has a preset price. So an adult badger is going to have the same price per kilo as a mature badger, and a mule deer is going to have a different price per kilo, for example. That gets multiplied with however much weight you had left, and then that makes your total sale price. Now this is a 24% badger. We only have 150 taxidermy spots, so I'm only going to taxidermy 5 stars, animals under 20% fitness, or rares. So this guy, we're just gonna sell him. Goodbye. 35 credits for us. Now we gotta kill one more badger, and we're going to kill him from the hunting stand, because there is a perk for getting 150 kills, or 150 artery, lung, or heart shots from a hunting stand. So whenever we do have the option to use a hunting stand, we are going to use a hunting stand. I don't think we will get the perk, but we'll see. It depends entirely on how long this is going to take us. I think when I did it naturally, that was the last perk I got on my main game playthrough. Okay. By the way, is this a new zone, or is this... Oh, this is a new zone. Nice. Let's just make a marker here. Already put one over there. Alright, let's find another badger. And by the way, this is only for the tutorial. Once the tutorial is over, the badgers that are in this area, most of them will disappear. Some will stay, but most of them will disappear. Where are they? There should be more. I have never not been able to get a second badger from this hunting stand. Come on. I can hear one. It's to the right of me. There's one over there. 100 meters, so that's behind this hill. Oh, there we go. Hello. Adult female. Not usually something I would shoot, but hey, we only need one badger, so. Please turn a little bit. That should be good. So I'm gonna mark her. How did we do? Left lung, right lung, awesome. Cell. The only time we're going to taxidermy females is if they are rare furs. Also something really nifty that was added with a recent patch, when the need zone has not yet been discovered, it will flash in the color that you set it to. And when you have already discovered it, it's going to be static. So this way we can easily tell that this is a need zone we've already encountered. We don't need to go back there. But this one, on the other hand, this is one we need. And if we go to our perks right now, you can already see the progress. So we know we've got some lever action perks. We've got some traveling upright perks. Collectibles. 6 out of 15 animal signs. 6 out of 30 is what we need. And we've got our hunting stand kills. Awesome. Alright, let's get back to the lodge. And let's buy a tier 5 rifle. Now, in this specific case, the tutorial will tell you to buy a very specific gun. Afterwards, you can basically choose for yourself. Now, we're going to buy this Remington because that's what the tutorial wants us to do. And we are going to put it in spot number 2. Oh god, which one was it? The 783. This one. You can attach 2 of the same scopes at 2 different rifles. So, by the way, you don't just have to rely on one. We are also going to add this hunting stand, which is going to make our life a lot easier. If you don't have that yet, don't worry, because you don't have the DLCs, don't worry about it. I think this one actually came with the Matariki map DLC, so if you have the Matariki map, you should have this one. But if you don't have it, don't worry about it. There's another stand that you can buy, but it's not immediately something that I say you should immediately get. And we have our first emails. I'm just going to read those out real quickly. Don't contact my son, Richard Knox. I think the subject says it all. Your cruel hobby devastated my wife, and I don't want to see the same thing happen to my son. He has his own life and career out in LA. He's only helping you out of pity and the emotional blackmail. Don't bother him with your business or contact him ever again. So our father is very against hunting. Robert McKay, the disease is spreading. Another person has been hospitalized under suspicious conditions after consuming mule deer meat. Sent to spread the word. Wallace Elliott Willow. Robert, please, don't tell me you're visiting that conspiratorial website too. That disease isn't even real. There's been no medical evidence to prove it exists. There is evidence. The government is just choosing not to show it to us. Once again, Robert, there are no sources in the article. Please stop spreading this hoax. It's hurting the area's reputation. I've heard you are in hospital now. It's because of the disease, right? You are claiming it's their heart, but I don't believe you, Wallace.
I shouldn't use this bad boy for more than 100 meters.
So, yeah. And, yeah, a little bit of flavor. Nine Rocks Pictures presents. Because, the developers are called Nine Rocks Games. So, Nine Rocks Pictures presents. Let me actually get a closer look at this. I'm pretty sure there's like a few little Easter eggs hidden in there. For example, when we had the intro cutscene and it showed the it showed the names on the radio when on the names on the call list when you were accepting the call. Those names are actually those names are actually from employees who worked on the game, either for THQ Nordic or otherwise. So yeah, we have the Hunter, Stuntman, River Knox, Stuntman, River Knox, Stuntman, River Knox. So that's us. Sand, these are actually little hints towards the DLC. So the first DLC was set in Alaska, and the second DLC was set in Africa. So, and if you go into the game files, you will see that in some game files the game is actually called the Elite Hunter. So that's a thing that happened. It was not always Way of the Hunter. And these pictures that you find all over the lodge are actually from other areas. So this one is from Transylvania. This is Porumba's cabin. We're going to get to that eventually. I'm not sure if we have any other pictures that we can look at right now. But I know in Transylvania, for example, you have pictures of Nez Perce, and then on Alaska you have pictures from both and such. This is also Transylvania. This is the castle, whatever its name was. This is the main cabin in the main lodge in Transylvania. And yeah, nothing here. So we have a few hints towards the Transylvania map. Anyway, now the upper grasslands area. We are going to place a marker over here, because this, I believe, is a campsite. So we're going to make our way to this campsite. We're probably going to encounter a deer even before we get there. But I do want to activate this campsite just for easy travel. And also, I think there's actually a... let me bring up my map. I think there's actually a task there that we can pick up. Yeah, there is. So we're definitely going to have to go to that one.